And for more analysis, we are joined by CBSNews.com's senior political reporter, Brian Montopoli. Thanks for being with us.
Always a pleasure.
Well, it was certainly a big night for Mitt Romney. What do you think is the reason why he won by such a large margin in Florida? Was it the debates, female voters? What was it?
Well, you hit on two big points there. One, the debates. In addition to his stump speech, he really went after Newt Gingrich. After his loss in South Carolina, he realized if I don't go after this guy and if I don't go after him hard, I could be in trouble. So he did. He really went at Gingrich. He really improved in the debates. He really improved on the stump. And then female voters, as you mentioned, the exit polls showed that female voters overwhelmingly supported Mitt Romney over Newt Gingrich. Now, there is no obvious reason for this, but you have to look at the revelation from Gingrich's second wife, her claim, which Gingrich denied, that he sought an open marriage. Now, that came out shortly before South Carolina, but it was so close to the primary date that it's possible that folks discounted it. But now, about 2 weeks after the fact, maybe it sunk in with female voters, and maybe it hurt Newt Gingrich.
Well, let's look at the numbers for just a second, because it takes 1,144 delegates to win the nomination. So far, Mitt Romney has 87. Is it really too early to write off the other candidates?
You know, it's crazy. This is like the dirty little secret of the process, right? We focus so much on these early states, and then you look at the delegate allocation and you say, well, wait a minute, it's barely any delegates have been allocated. The reason that that's so important is it's just a momentum game, right? You don't win some of these early states where you really make investments, people stop investing in your campaign and you end up having to drop out. I mean, we've lost, what, 5 candidates so far in this process already? There are candidates in this race like Ron Paul who are just focused on the delegates, who are ignoring this momentum battle, but you get to a point where folks start having to drop out because no one's rallying behind them because they aren't winning the early states. It sort of feeds on itself. So while it's not too early to count people out, it's certainly getting to a point where Mitt Romney is the prohibitive frontrunner for the nomination.
A lot of money, though, went into Florida. Mitt Romney and his backers poured millions into negative campaign ads. Newt Gingrich had his fair share of them as well. It seems like those negative ads, though, really kind of worked in Romney's favor. But if they both keep at it with these negative ads, is it going to hurt whoever gets the nomination?
Well, this was a big topic in the speeches last night. Romney said this is going to strengthen us. And if you look at 2008, when you had Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton going at it, the argument was that they were strengthened by their primary fight. But the flip side of that is, if you land a lot of hits on the eventual nominee, no matter who it is, they're going to go into the general election weekend. It's hard to know how it's going to play out. Most folks seem to think it doesn't help Mitt Romney if he's the eventual nominee, if he's taking shots on things like Bain Capital from fellow Republicans, when that's what you expected to be a Democratic argument. Romney says overall this is going to help. A lot of folks don't think so.
Well, it seems like Rick Santorum and Ron Paul have said, forget about Florida, we're going to focus on Nevada. That's where they have been, in fact. Is that tactic going to work for them?
Well, Florida was a bad bet for them. It's a really expensive state. It's a winner-take-all state, which meant you're not going to get any delegates if you come in second, third, or fourth. So they said, we're going to go to a caucus state like Nevada where we could potentially do better. We're going to try to rack up the delegates. Rick Santorum's really at a point now where he just has to hope Newt Gingrich flames out and he can sort of take that mantle of the consensus conservative from Romney, who isn't Ron Paul. And as I said earlier, Paul, at this point, it's a delegate game for him. They're really focused on the caucus states, which is what Obama did in 2008 and how he was able to get enough delegates to beat Hillary Clinton ultimately. Paul is just playing a long game. He's got the money, he's got the passionate supporters to stay in this thing. So for him, it makes sense. For Rick Santorum, right now, it's just about trying to stick around.
Next stop, Nevada's caucus is on Saturday. Going to keep you busy. All right. Thanks so much, Brian Montopoli with CBSNews.com.